Welcome to the Eurasian Watch. The American presidential and vice presidential general elections would be held on Tuesday, November 5, 2024. The president and vice president-elect would take oath on January 20, 2025 for the next 4 years, till January 19, 2029. The Republican Party's presidential candidate is Donald Trump. However, J.D. Vance is the candidate for the vice president. The candidates of Democratic Party are Kamala D. Harris for president, and Tim Walz for the vice president. Similarly, the candidates of Green Party of the U.S. are medical Dr. Jill Stein for president, and Professor Butch Ware, professor of history, for the slot of vice president. The U.S. president and vice president are not elected on the basis of majority votes of people in general elections. Rather, there is an electoral college of 538 members. In order to be the U.S. president and vice president, the figure of 270 electoral votes is the must requirement. Every U.S. citizen having 18 years of age and above with registered vote can cast the vote in general elections for the president and the vice president through 3 methods. First, direct physical voting on General Election Day, which is November 5, 2024 at various polling stations throughout the United States. Second, early in-person voting starts prior to the General Election Day, keeping in view the possible difficulties of various sections of society such as health issues, traveling outside the U.S., job-related engagements, etc. So, various U.S. states have different dates of early in-person voting ranging from 29 days prior to Election Day to 10 days before the date of election. However, most of the U.S. states start early in-person voting 15 days before the election day. In all cases, early in-person voting starts in the month of October. The eligible voters within and outside the U.S. can also cast their vote through email or by postal ballot. It is reported that 230 million U.S. citizens are eligible to vote, but only 160 million, 16 crore, people are the registered voters. Every eligible voter is bound to cast the vote in the state where the voter is registered. The U.S. political parties hold meetings and conventions during each election year to finalize their candidates for president and the vice president. The U.S. Electoral College is a process which is divided on all 50 U.S. states as per population and equal to members of each state in the Congress, members of each state in House of Representatives and Senate. Normally, each U.S. state has 2 members in the Senate. There are 435 members in House of Representatives from all U.S. states besides 100 members in Senate. The figure is 535 and Washington, D.C. has 3 electoral college votes. Therefore, total electoral college is 538. For example, California state has 55 electoral college votes because it has 53 members in the House of Representatives and 2 members in the Senate. Similarly, Florida has 30, both Pennsylvania and Illinois has 19. The current allocation of electoral college members is based on the 2020 census, and it is effective for 2024 and 2028 presidential elections. Since 2000, there are 3 categories of the U.S. states concerning the presidential election: red states, consistently voting in favor of Republican Party; blue states, consistently voting in favor of Democratic Party; and swing states, sometimes voting Republicans and sometimes in favor of Democrats. The swing states play a key role in the U.S. presidential elections because these states can swing election results in favor or against the contesting candidates. Before general elections, the political parties in each state choose slates of potential electors. The winning presidential candidate's slate of potential electors are appointed as the state's electors. It demonstrates that if a candidate wins election in any state, she will automatically win all the electoral college votes of that state. Electors generally hold a leadership position in their party or chosen keeping in view the years of loyal service to their party. The electors are bound by state law and bound by pledges to their respective political parties to vote as per will of majority vote of that state, so they cannot vote contrary to the results of majority votes, otherwise they can face disqualification and they can be replaced with other electors. So, in the US elections history, 99% electors have voted in favor of winning candidates in the general elections in the state. The notification of electors in each state would be issued not later than December 11, 2024. Thus, on December 17, 2024, the electors of each state would meet in a designated place to vote for winning president and vice president in their respective state on separate ballots. These electoral votes must be received by the President of the Senate and the Archivist till December 25, 2024. Then, the U.S. Congress would meet in joint session to count the electoral votes on January 6, 2025. The President of the Senate would declare which persons, if any, have been elected President and Vice President of the United States. If no presidential candidate wins at least 270 electoral votes, the House of Representatives would elect the President by majority vote, choosing from among the three candidates who receive the greatest number of electoral votes. Similarly, if no vice presidential candidate wins at least 270 electoral votes, the Senate would elect the vice president by majority vote, choosing between the two candidates who received the greatest number of electoral votes. Thank you for being with us. For more updates, subscribe the Eurasian Watch. Thank you.